it's really an exciting time for me to present on the UGM because we can create a kind of summary and we can actually check where we are with our development. And thanks very much, the nice metaphors from Ivan. I really like them because it helped us to get into context and understand on a company level where we are, how our product portfolio look like. I don't have the slide. Oh, let's see. But before jumping to the heavy details of the Plexus Suite, I would like to be a bit more relaxed, especially after the discussion we had here on the frequent releases. We can continue it in the break, I hope. And during that, we may try some of the Hungarian flavors. So I'm not sure any of you realizes what's there on the top left corner. So it's a kind of stuffed egg. It's very popular around Easter time. And we make it with my family, so this is very tasty. The top right one is the famous Hungarian pancake stuffed with meat. And it doesn't look like at all a pancake, so it's most probably, you wouldn't think that it's a pancake, but on the cart, you can, it's translated like that. This one is langos, it's called langos, and it's often pronounced as lalanga at some places. And it looks like as a pancake, but it is not at all. And this is called pogacha. So I think many of you have who already visited ChemAxon between the UGMs. You could already try it. I think Edith, you must have got, or maybe Paul, you as well. So this is very tasty. And I asked Jonci to have it during the break. So I hope we will get some. So, all right. So after all these, so this is a kind of appetizer, and my talk also gonna be a kind of appetizer, and I want to connect a little bit or link to be linked to Ivan's talk. That so obviously I will also talk about this general R&D ecosystem, what most of you have, no matter it's a large company or small company. And before I jump into the various areas, I just want to tell you some of or general motivations around Plexus Suite, why we decided to create this out-of-the-box software solution, which is obviously came after the toolkit age of ChemAxon, and this is gonna be our future. This is the next generation fully web-based software package. It's not yet fully web-based. Currently it's a kind of hybrid solution because some of the administration aspects are within IGC, but definitely we are heading towards to provide a fully web-based solution. It's also modular and flexible. This is a very important point because according to our goals, we wanted to serve both the enterprise-size customers and more smaller clients with the very same software solution. It's probably easier for us and more economical to do like that. So it means modular, that various pieces of Plexus Suite, various tools, targets various areas on that ecosystem, what you heard from Ivan. But it's also flexible, which means that these various pieces can be used not only within this environment, so not only compatible with each other, but also compatible with your company ecosystem. And yeah, as Richard pointed out, that we need to improve some aspects to serve it better, but definitely this is modular and flexible. So it also means that you may be able to apply a partial solution. So you not necessarily need to apply all the parts of Plexus Suite. You can just grab some of them and use it according to your needs. It's also integrable. I mentioned that. It's not only integrable with companies, but also we have several partners. You will hear presentations from them this morning. And also we want to make it as intuitive as possible. which means that we really have lots of emphasis on creating proper user interface design with the help of our UX designer colleagues. All right. So one side or one part of the tools is, we call them discover user interfaces. These are most effective once you got some kind of integrated database, which can be a warehouse or just a smaller integrated database around your data, a reliable place where you store your data. So one of the strengths of this software package is to access these data sources. This can be even multiple data sources. And these technologies, so the tools names are InstantJChem and Plexus Connect. They are able to handle both small molecules, and will be able to handle biomolecules from this year with the help of applying our biomolecule toolkit. So we can display, search, report, and or data, and we can use it for collaboration. And these user interfaces are distinguishing between expert and basic users. So we want to provide more intuitive and easily usable user interfaces for chemists and assay scientists, and also provide some tools for expert users where the more complex things can be set up. The next part what I wanted to mention, okay, before I jump, I go back a little bit. So on this side, you will hear more presentations. So one of them is from JSK, from Richard, later today. I think it's really interesting what how we collaborated with GSK on these various points, and interesting to see where you are with that. And also it's very interesting to see there will be another presentation from ITEOS, from Stefano, that ITEOS is a startup company, and they also able to use the very same software for their reasons. So you can see this comparison. I think it's really interesting to see how you use these tools from these two large distance. All right. So the next topic is documents. So many of the companies has document repositories. This is a natural thing. So we are always creating lots of documents. So searching them back is really a crucial thing, and it's very challenging. So this is again a topic where we will have a guest speaker, Matthias from BI, and I'm really excited to hear more details on this story. Especially because you used our tools for a problem which where you indexed a lot of documents, and then you try to search back this information. And you face some challenging things regarding the software, so it's going to be really interesting to hear where we need to improve. The next one is how we deal with chemical space. So this is traditionally a strength of ChemAxon. Because we developed very advanced technologies for handling small molecule chemical space. So there are stages in drug discovery where it makes sense to expand this chemical space by enumerations or other technologies, and maybe use it for structure-based design. So this is the area where we will have a joint presentation tomorrow with Sprint Bioscience. So Anna and then Frederick and Jenny will give a presentation on this part. And we are not only able to enumerate molecules, but also characterize them very easily with our calculators. That's going to be a story what Daniel will detail. So once we got like a chemical space or documents or scientific data stored in reliable information sources, we of course sometimes we want to analyze the data. Very often it's a daily routine. And now we have a new release and this is really going to be released in this UGM. Yuri will talk about how we can visualize this data and create charts. So the other side of the coin is that how we can reliably pump data into central data repository, and we have compound registration, so we can keep a safe catalog of compounds by registering the molecules, representing them, and make them searchable. Also, for biomolecules, since Biomolecule Toolkit is already usable for integrations, we are also using it within Instant JChem and Plexus Connect, and we are able to register also biomolecules into a database. Roland will detail it later today. And also, we started to create a simple inventory, because this was a kind of feedback from, especially from our medium and small and medium-sized companies, clients, that we would need to provide this functionality to target a more and more complete solution. And the same is true with assay data. So this is this topic is being developed now for more than 6 months, and we are solving assay data registration on a simple level. Just we are focusing on the process assay data, and we capture process assay data, and we create an integrated database with using these 3 key ways how we register and keep catalog of these data. So beside these 3 domains, we can do data capturing also on a kind of general level within Instant JChem and Plexus Connect. So if we put all these things together, we imagine a kind of a more complete solution, or even a full solution, where we can provide all these tools integrated with each other, also provide hardware, software, and maintenance services. We can bring also external partners into the story, because even though if we want to target a complete solution, we cannot provide everything. So we work together with our VAR partners, ELM partners like IDBS or RxPan. So we can collaborate on a solution level as well. And of course, we can provide consultancy services if a company needs more help around this. So this is the story that I wanted to share with you today, and I encourage you to register on psdemo.chemaxon.com. This is the demo server where you can always see the new release and the new features, and try yourself the software and revisit for newer abilities. Thank you very much for your attention.
So it's great to see you moving towards these sort of, the interfaces as well as the toolkits. How are you approaching the usability problem of making sure the interfaces you're creating feel intuitive? I get a lot of feedback from the user community about these things just getting too hard to use. And as we try and roll out new versions, we're having to do training programs. How can we ensure that training isn't really needed because the whole thing's intuitive?
There are various techniques in the user interaction design that even in an early phase, we try to reach out more and more end users. And actually, that's sometimes not very easy, because the companies, of course, they want their colleagues to work at their workplace at the companies, but not to do something else. But if we want to provide very good softwares, then we need to reach out our users, chemists, and assay scientists in a kind of early phase of the software design. So I think this is one of the key things. Way before the release, in the design phase, if we can do small workshops, TCs, user tests on the design software, that's really helps. That's what helps.
How are you factoring in the different sort of platforms that the users have now, like the sort of tablets and things like that, into the design as well? That's something you're considering?
yes, we need to consider this. We try to create proper interfaces and make stronger the platform-like behavior of the software tools. But well, one of the preferences to integrate things internally, and also making some transparent user interfaces for the outer world. Yeah. So proper interface design is the answer here, I think.
What is the difference between what you call compound registration and Plexus inventory?
Okay, compound registration registers molecules on a chemical entity level. So you register their structures or biomolecules as chemical entities. But in inventory, you basically keep track of samples, physical samples. So those are powders, liquids within a container at various places. So this is the major difference.
You're also offering it as a hosted service, this whole suite. So I imagine that the security of the data is a real key issue. But on the other hand, people might want to connect their external tools to it. How's this handled?
Okay, this is a kind of technical details that I may pass to Max. Max, would you like to answer this question?
What exactly would you like to integrate? 9, okay. So this is in plan. And the 9 guys that are over here, they have their web services integration. And since we are like RESTful web service based application as well, for us this is quite easy to do this integration, and this is on our roadmap. As for the extension points, it is already possible to do your own extension points, and if you would like to like submit a module, we can guide you through into our APIs and you can work on that. So there are already options.